In Bluefield, West Virginia, historic scenes from downtown Bluefield are now included in an art collection set to be exhibited in the Paine Gallery in the Bluefield Arts Canter beginning on Wednesday. The artwork is done by Larry Akers. He's an artist who painted a portrait of the late former President Richard Nixon and even presented it to the president in a ceremony at the White House all the way back in 1969. Akers is a Bluefield, Virginia native who at one time occupied the entire third floor as an artist in residence of what is now the Bluefield Arts Canter. He has since seen his artwork in cities as far away as Los Angeles. Akers eventually returned to the region, collecting photos and memorabilia of the area. That's what led to a large drawing that became the mural formerly seen in Chicory Square, the first large outdoor mural in the Bluefields. And since then, Akers has painted other public and private murals in Pocahontas, Tazewell, and Marion, Virginia. This upcoming exhibit will be running through October 5th. It'll be open from 11 in the morning until December 5th, that it will be running through, but it will be open from 11 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, weekdays and by appointment.